With the announcement of John Mayer's solo tour for 2023 and actually the pre-sale for the tour about to kick off just as this video is first going live, I thought it'd be really cool to make a video just discussing 5 songs that I would just be blown away if I got to see John Mayer perform these on his tour, and that I really just hope he would perform. These are actually 5 songs that I've personally never seen John perform. I have a little note section on my phone of all the ones I've actually seen between all the different set lists and stuff, and it'd just be really special, I think, to see these ones live. So let me know in the comments down below what songs you are really hoping to see from John on this tour, especially because we know that he's mentioned he's going to be performing songs that haven't really been in the rotation of set lists in a very long time, and also, of course, stuff that's unreleased that we haven't really heard yet before. So lots of cool stuff on this way for the tour, and I think this is really going to be a very special one that if you're a massive John Mayer fan, you really don't want to miss this tour. I know for sure I'm going to be going to one of these shows. You know, that's a given. I'm going to go. I'm thinking maybe Los Angeles at this time, but we'll see where I end up going, but I'm definitely not going to miss this tour, and I highly recommend you guys go see this tour too, because I think this is one that we are really going to look back on years from now and think, wow, that was a really unique and special tour compared to all the other ones. You know, every tour John's done is fantastic, but they're all more or less the same formula. I mean, okay, 2017, like the Search for Everything was cool because you had the trio set. That made that tour a bit more special than just the run-of-the-mill, you know, full band that mainly happens throughout every tour. Again, not saying that they're bad or any means, but this one is definitely going to have this very special aspect of it just being John. With that all said, number 5 on our list, especially, you know, these songs being ones that I really personally hope to hear live, to be able to scratch them off the list of ones I've seen perform live from John, is actually a song off of Born and Raised that John really doesn't perform at all. Definitely would be one from the vault, that's for sure, and one that, again, it's never really been part of his set list, like, ever. And it's a song that originally was actually written for Continuum, but never made it on that record and eventually landed on Born and Raised, and it's Fool to Love You.
Fool me once and it's shame on you, but twice it's shame on me. Fool me, baby, for the rest of my life and I'll be happy, happy as a broken man can be, yeah. 'Cause it takes a fool.
I think that there is a clear aspect of the song that when you listen to it, you can definitely imagine it being written and being on Continuum. You know, the way they recorded it and the overall arrangement of the song definitely fits in with Born and Raised, but you can easily imagine how the song would have been had it been on Continuum with a more of that bluesy pop guitar playing vibe that is Continuum. You know, the whole aspect of Continuum being very unique and very different from Born and Raised, but at the same time you listen to the song and you can just sit there and think, yeah, I could totally imagine what this would be if it was on Continuum. But I think it's a really incredible song by John. It was a huge treat to actually hear it performed live during the fundraiser for Montana for Park County that John did this past summer in 2022. It was incredible to hear that song performed live then. And I think this song just doesn't get enough credit as just being a really fantastic song. Again, I mean, it fits great on Born and Raised, but there definitely is a vibe to it from the Continuum era, and you can really hear the influence of John's kind of writing at that time frame, I think. And I don't know, Fool to Love You's always been really great. I've always loved that song from day one. Number 4 on the list is a song that John has never performed live, and it's a song that he actually has been quoted in saying that it's kind of banned, and it's one that he pretty much teased that he would never perform it on the Sob Rock tour, and it's Why You No Love Me. There is something about the backlash and reception that this song got that I think is so ridiculous and just stupid, if I'm being honest, that I just really hope he says to hell with it and performs it. I think it'd be really great to actually hear John perform this song live, and if you just take it as what it is, a fun song teased in just a different way of expressing words in a very basic form of language, I think it was really clever what John did. And, you know, it's definitely not my favorite song to listen on off of Sob Rock, that's for sure. But at the same time, I think it'd be really great for him to just be like, you know, this song was very special to me and I'm going to perform it live. And I think it's sad that he actually let the reception that the song got upon release influence it probably not making the set list. I think that's probably the reason why we never heard it perform live, was because of the reception. And so he even teased it's banned on his Instagram story. And we never got to hear it perform live, which I just think is unfortunate. I just hope we hear it. And I hope John says to hell with it. And I'm going to perform this song for you guys. So that's number 4. I'll be the first to admit that putting Why You Know Love Me on this list is, you know, maybe not the one that I'd like to hear most, but there's just that part of me that just is like, I really just hope John performs it. But the next 3 are definitely like my top 3 ones I hope to hear performed live on this tour. That is without a question. These are 3 that, you know, if I heard any one of these 3, I'd just be insanely happy. And the third one is Assassin. Now, Assassin had actually kind of rejoined the list of songs that John was willing to perform right after he left Columbia, actually, his old record company. And I'm not sure if there's anything actually, you know, in terms of correlation between those two things, but the subject matter of that song and kind of the message behind it at the time John wrote it, he had ended up basically deciding that that wasn't really who he was anymore. But the song has kind of fallen back into fashion with him, and it sounds incredible live. And John actually did perform this song acoustically during the Sob Rock tour, but a lot of people think that's the very first time he performed it. And Schaefer Bud on YouTube, who has some amazing deep cuts posted on his YouTube channel, will be linked down below, something like 10 years ago. It's been a very long time that this has been on his channel, but there is an old acoustic version of Assassin right I believe kind of around the time Battle Studies had come out. John performed an acoustic version of that song for the very first time.
Into the morning light, to fight a blaze, burning the curtains and wine. In a little wide room, no, I'm not alone. Her head is heavy on me, she's even like a child. Oh, what could I do? Get down and let me get gone. You never leave a trace to show your face, you get gone. Shouldn't turn around and left before the sun came up again. The sun came up again. I was a killer, was the best thing I've seen. Asked you your heart before you ever heard a thing. I'm an assassin and I had a job to do. Little did I know that girl was an assassin too.
So there is a very early rendition of it acoustically. And it's always been a song that I've really loved acoustically. I actually had MP3'd that upload onto my iPod, I think at the time. You know, this is what, like 2011? 2010? And I've always loved Assassin acoustically. And I think it'd be a really great one to see John perform on this tour, especially because it's been one recently added in, and he's already performed it acoustically once on the Sob Rock tour. Now, number 2 on this list here is just one song that at some point on some tour, I just really hope I get to experience it live in concert, and it's, you know, might even be tied for number 1 on my list of songs I really want to hear John perform live, and it's Good Love Is On The Way. Now, I'm adding it especially to this list and this tour because John performed Good Love Is On The Way as part of the Village Sessions EP, which was an all-acoustic album he released. And Good Love Is On The Way sounds fantastic acoustically. I mean, I personally, the trio version is the, you know, that's the best version of the song, the best arrangement of it. But acoustically as well, it sounds really, really good. And John actually performed this on the second Marecraft, I believe it was, acoustically as well. So that's a different look at the song being performed acoustically, and at least in a live context. And it's awesome. Again, I really just hope I get to experience it in more of a full band or trio setting. But, I mean, I'd take acoustic as well at this point for Good Love Is On The Way. One of my favorite John Mayer songs ever. And finally, number 1 today. This song is my favorite John Mayer song. It's one that, unless you know me, you would definitely not guess this as actually being my favorite John Mayer song, hands down. I don't know why it is, but this song has always just resonated with me ever since I first heard it, and it's Clarity. Something about it. I just love this song, and I've been very stoked at the fact that John has actually added it into kind of his rotation of songs he'll perform. As of recently, he performed the song quite a lot on the Sob Rock tour for sure. I believe he performed it a couple times during the 2019 World Tour as well. So it's one of those songs, again, that's kind of come back into fashion with him, and a song that's kind of come back into the rotation. And unfortunately, I didn't get to hear it live during the Sob Rock tour. But I think as an acoustic song for John performing just solely, I think this is a really good choice and a very high chance of this song being performed quite a bit on this upcoming tour. And as it is my favorite Mayer song, again, if you know me, I'm a massive gearhead. I love electric guitar especially. I'm not a huge acoustic guy, if I'm being honest. But it's my favorite song from John. And it's weird, but I do truly just love Clarity. And I would just be floored if he performed this song. If I just hear him come into that acoustic riff immediately, and I'd be like, oh my God.
And I will wait to find if this will last forever. And I will wait to find if this will last forever. And I will pay no mind when it won't, and it won't, because it can't. It just can't. It's not supposed to. No.
It would be really special. And luckily, at least speaking of songs that'd be really special to hear live, I was fortunate enough to get one of my bucket list John Mayer songs scratched off on the Sob Rock tour, and that was Neon. Getting to hear Neon performed live was that was a surreal experience as well. So I'm fortunate enough to have been able to, scratch that off the list, but especially, these top 3 on the list today, Clarity, Good Love Is On The Way, and Assassin. Hopefully I can knock at least one more of them off on this upcoming tour. So again, you guys, let me know in the comments down below what songs you really are hoping to see John perform on this tour. Let me know if you guys are going to one of the shows. So I'm sure a bunch of you guys are probably planning on getting tickets. And hey, best of luck getting tickets at least today when this video goes live, or if later on Friday you guys are trying to get tickets as well in the general sale. Best of luck to you guys, and all of us hopefully getting seats that we all want and just being able to go. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I mean, come on, this is just one of the best places on YouTube to be, I think, if you're a John Mayer fan. Might be a little biased, but I think there's a lot of you guys who would agree with me as well. Until next time, you guys, take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Anyway, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you like what you see.